Matter of fact, Paul said he was even sick unto death. He said, but God healed his body. So he says, so since he can't make it right now, I'm going to send Timothy to check on you until he can get there. But he was homesick. He was homesick for the fellowship of the believers at Philippi. I mean, listen. If you ever gone on vacation, are you in a hurry to get back to Mount Sinai? Or are you in a hurry to get back to Mount Vernon? Are you in a hurry to get back to Metropolitan? Are you in a hurry to get back to the temple? Are you in a hurry to get back to Stranger's Rest? Are you in a hurry to get back to St. John? Are you in a hurry to get back to Rising Star? Are you in a hurry to get back to Grace Unlimited? Are you in a hurry to get back to Sunlight? Are you in a hurry to get back to Oak Grove? Are you in a hurry to get back to True Love? Are you in a hurry? You ought to get homesick. Greater Mount Zion. You ought to long to be with the believers. See, I'm not talking about hanging out on 3rd, 9th, and Prospect. I'm talking about being with the brethren, with believers. Epaphroditus said, I'm homesick. I want to see you. Whenever the district is getting ready to meet, I'm excited. Because I know I'm going to be with other believers. I'm a little homesick. But I'm also homesick. I'm going back home after this for Rising Star. Well, pastors, do you have any members in your church who like to come in late? Sit in the back row, say nothing to anybody, slip out early, and disappear into their woodwork for another week before launching out into another exercise of magnificent non-involvement? If so, they certainly don't know much about the depth of Christian service. Well, let me hurry on. Then I want you to look at the third word that Paul dealt with in this text, and that's interest. Paul speaks of a surprising problem that he encountered in the Roman church. Paul had repeatedly told the Roman Christians of his concern for the Philippians and had asked for someone to volunteer to go to them. Listen, while Paul was in Rome, Paul couldn't go, Paul was in prison. He said, but somebody needs to go check on them. And there were a whole lot of brothers volunteered. But nobody went. The people had listened to Paul. They agreed with him. Yeah, somebody needs to go. They proposed a motion that something should be done. And then the motion was even seconded and passed unanimously. And they did nothing about it. He couldn't get anybody to go to Philippi. It's in there. You read it. Why? Because he couldn't find anyone interested in their welfare. Now, the reason was not that they didn't care. It wasn't that they couldn't care enough. They were all very careful about seeking their own interests, not those of Jesus Christ. You got some folk who want a position because they're seeking their own interests. It ain't about sunshine. See, I'm going out now, so I can say. They didn't care enough about the work of the Lord among the Philippian people to regard it as their privilege to make an investment of them in other people. I mean, listen, it's a privilege to serve people. A privilege. I mean, if you're going to take a position, you need to take a position and work at the position. And not just hold the title. This is what it means to care, to have enough concern that you want to devote time and energy and ability to the lives of others for the glory of God. Whatever I may have done as moderator, it was not for me. It was done so that God might get the glory. This type of death is missing in much of our Christian service. The person who cares for his own things to the exclusion of the things of God and the needs of people have missed the boat of Christian service. You missed it. You didn't get on board. You know, I said before that when we talk about fellowship, everybody got to be in the ship if you're going to fellowship. You can't fellowship if you're not in the ship. Take time out today. Don't wait. Take time out today to check on your interests, your involvement, and your investment in the people who's around you. These things are a measure of depth of your service. Well, I don't know about you, but I get joy in my Christian service because I know what God has done for me. Oh, Paul, you could tell Paul had in-depth service. You could tell that Paul cared about the Philippians. Paul's service was so in-depth that it got him put in jail. And I remember he was in jail on late one evening. And he was there with Silas, his companion. They had put him in chains and locked the doors. And the Bible says that it was around about midnight that Paul looked at Silas.